Hi everyone, welcome to the 25th Video Community of Practice meeting. I'm Pankaj Agrawal, founder of Next Software Solutions and working group leader of this community of practice. Let's get started. Last month we had to cancel the meeting. We didn't have enough people and we had some audio issues, so we decided to cancel that meeting. This month we might not have few people from places where they are having holidays due to Labor Day, International Labor Day, but I guess most of uh, most of us should be able to join in today. So let's get started. Jason, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, just fine.
So far I don't have too much of an agenda in this meeting. Would you want to discuss about this and the other thing you were talking about, the patterns of statements you mentioned?
Yeah, sure. So I don't know, did we, in the previous groups or previous meetings, have we ever put together any kind of like recipes for video? I know there's some out there that were started back in the tin can days, and there's various ones all over the place, but did this group ever put any together?
No, we had analyzed few of the recipes that were present at the time we started, and then we build this profile. So the profile itself is the recipe, but we didn't do the work that is done in this document or
Okay, good. Well, I was just curious. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel if you guys had already done that, because I think that's the next logical step for this group, because we've defined the vocabulary, we've defined all the types of data we want to capture, we've defined all the elements. Now we just need to figure out the recipes, and I guess the term kind of being used now for this new xAPI profile specification is statement templates. And those of you that aren't aware, there's been a new effort, ADL funded, a month or two ago. Actually, it goes back farther. It's part of a broader effort we are doing with DISC for LRS certification and conformance research. But a third part of that research effort is looking at profiles. We modified their statement of work to focus on that because we felt that was pretty important. We've done a lot of work with the SCORM profile and the CMI5 profile. I know this group's been working on the video one over the past year or two. So we needed to get some better practices down if we're going to have tools out there be able to test against statements conforming to a specific profile. And so there's been a working group formed. I'll put a link here in the chat window. It's xAPI Profiles Working Group. It's led by ADL and DISC. And DISC is Aaron Silvers and Russell Duhan and Megan Bowe. And basically, they're building off of the existing vocabulary spec that is representing IRIs and information around IRIs or resources and things on the web as linked data. And the reason for doing that is when you have things represented as linked data, you can mash up that data and make sense of it in a machine readable format. You ask some pretty interesting questions and mash it up with other data sources a lot easier and so forth. There's a lot. So we did that for xAPI for verbs and activity types. A more recently defined an ontology for the statement model. It's kind of in a draft form, but this profile working group is looking more specifically about statements adhering to a certain profile and what are the different things we can do around versioning. They're also using much of what we already defined in the vocabulary spec, but they also built on this other concept of templates and statement templates, which is the same thing as what years ago what we've been calling as recipes, but that was kind of loosely defined in the community. It was something think Recipe Software came up with as a concept, but it's never been something formally in the xAPI specification or formally implemented. There's just been a lot of loose implementations of what people thought what recipe was. But now we're getting more adherence to existing web standards such as linked data and applying that to our concept of profiles. So recipes are statement templates, and as you can see on the screen, as Pankaj is sharing, this is the profile spec. And I think a good next logical step we could do with the video working group is to take what we've done. We've already defined all the vocabulary. We know all the data we want to capture, and go through and define or write out what are all the different types of statements that someone might make in a video profile. At least have a good basis for defining a baseline of what those statements would be. Of course, people could build off of that for their own implementations, but at least you have like a core of video statement templates there. And I started to do something like that. This was that other document you shared, Pankaj, was a use case template and some stories or narratives we were putting together. 2 months ago, I was at the Learning and Analytics Knowledge Conference in Vancouver, Canada, and they wanted a quick way to generate a bunch of statements, and they wanted a specific use case. And I said, okay, well, we've got this video community of practice. I'll just start, plugging some in there based on what I think the statement should look like. And then I sent it to you, Pankaj, I think back in March, and you guys were saying, no, you need to fix a few things here and there. So I haven't gone back and started to fix those, but I think maybe we could step back and start like a spreadsheet list of all the different statement templates, and then go into something like this and break it down and figure out what are the things we need to define. And maybe it doesn't have to be the use case template, but maybe defining what the different pieces of it would be. What are your thoughts?
We already have a spreadsheet, so we'll have to decide what pieces of information that we need sorry, we need to add to the list of verbs, and the key issues we might find is with how to use the extra pieces of information that is in the extensions. So some of the extension values might be limited to some specific verbs or a particular way of usage. So it might not be very clear in those spreadsheets or even in the book profile that we have created. So the first thing we need probably is to identify what information or what detail is missing there, and add that piece of information. So if we compare this document with the existing Git book, we have some differences. It's taking a bit of time to load. So as good here.
Oh, it says Mark G is the presenter now. I think you might have passed it over to him by accident.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have some information in these tables.
I'm just looking at Mark's screen, Pankaj. I think you shared or gave him presenter access by accident.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's good.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mark. So yes, we have list of verbs here, and we have some pieces of information. So either we can add whatever information we are collecting here and add it back to this common document, that profile document we are creating, or probably take the help of this document and add add appendix to this document, or somewhere as a reference section, because a lot of this information is very valuable, and probably some of uh, most of it can be added to the profile itself, so that it is easier for people to use the profile when they are using the profile document.
Sure. Yeah, I almost think we need, another section below this that would be like called statement templates or something, and it would have all the different patterns. So you wouldn't need the use case information that I had in this Word document necessarily. That was really just to help think through what the use cases were. But maybe these sample statements would be useful. And you would say,
Yeah.
okay, here's a sample statement template for initialized. And as you pointed out under use case 1, you have you got some comments there saying, no, you're not supposed to put time. Wait, would you say played must have time resolve extension to show the point in time where the video is played?
Yeah. So, for example, this one, played should not have duration.
Right. So what we should do is, I think, based on all the different types of interactions that can take place in a video profile, try to create those sample statements like I've done here. Even though you don't have to do them in this document, you could, and you don't have to write out like a use case for each one. You could, if it helps us think through it. The key thing is the statement template, because that's what we will kind of abstract that into the profile, so we can define what is the pattern that is expected, and you can actually represent that in JSON, so someone trying to conform to a certain profile could validate that the statement structure was adhering to that structure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the sample statements are most important part of this document, but the additional information is helping understand new people who don't know anything about.
Yeah, it's just a typical use case template. Like who are the actors? What are the preconditions? What things need to you assume? What are the assumptions that are true? And then what's going to happen after this use case takes place? It could be a very simple one, like play the video, or it could get really complex. So I don't know. If you think it's useful to still kind of follow a use case template, that's fine with me.
Yeah, at least we can improve these statements here, because it is easier to interact. And then if you want to copy some of this to the Gitbook, we can copy it there.
I'll help work on some of these some more today too. So what I'd like to do is by this time next week have a good list of all the possible video statements. Get that over to like Russell and the profile working group, so we could get the video profile completed, kind of in tandem with that effort.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll jump back into trying to make a prototype or whatever. But I really, I had good intentions, but I've been traveling a lot this first half of the year unexpectedly.
Yeah, happens with everyone. So yes, we definitely need prototype. I have also been thinking about doing it, but haven't been able to work on it. But prototype is probably the thing that everyone is waiting for, and once we have it, I think we'll definitely have more interest in video
It's
profiles.
okay. It's okay. I'm almost glad I didn't, because we started this profile working group, and it probably would have made the work we did, any kind of prototype we did, irrelevant, or not completely irrelevant, but we would have had to add a lot more to it. So
yes,
it's fine. So it's worked out.
I've also been thinking about doing it probably, if not using a new or the existing good libraries. We already have a plugin which uses video tracking, so it currently uses the Mozilla based library. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, you mean like another library for tracking video?
Yeah, the video related library, like Video.js. There is one that we are currently using. We copied it from a prototype that ADL developed, and we are using it in the Grassblade xAPI companion plugin. But that library, let me check what is the name, but that library is not being actively developed or supported, so we are having occasional issues with it. So we plan to move to a different library. But so far, if we keep postponing the prototypes, probably the easiest way for me to get something done would be changing the statements there, and
sure,
using the same library, changing the statements. At least we can see how the video profile statements looks like.
Yeah, what was the name of that library? Did you say that it was one that ADL used too, or?
Yeah, ADL had developed a prototype and used this library. Let me check. It is Mozilla-based video library.
Wonder who was working on that. I'll have to go look.
Popcorn or something like that.
Is that someone other than the YouTube input?
Yeah, it is Popcorn.js. So it uses, it has video, YouTube, and few other things. It is called Popcorn.js, but it is not being actively developed, and there are
Popcorn. Yeah, Popcorn is not it hasn't been updated in years, and it's kind of limited.
I think Tom Creighton in ADL had developed a
prototype. That was Tom.
Yeah,
it was Tom.
So we had used that prototype and modified it to use in the plugin that we are using. So probably I can modify that and add the statement structure based on this profile.
Okay.
And if we can do Video.js or something like that, it would be great.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I didn't have anything else. Just that I think that would be good for this group to do, and I'll start jumping in there with you. If you've already got a list, you said, Pankaj, of existing names of statement templates or recipes that others have had, maybe we could, kind of have just like a single list of names of those, and then break them out into this kind of template format where we define the different parts of it. That'd be great. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch.
Do you mean the past recipes?
I mean the titles, like learner pause the video, or just all the different types of video use cases for video, because that will translate into statement templates, all the different use cases. Yeah.
Isn't it
probably
just the list of verbs?
And those use cases would have the active verb and then not so much the object anymore, right? Or dependence.
Yeah, and I mean,
The earlier recipes that we were talking about was a different recipe built by someone else, like the Rusty C build this tin can API. Let me see where it is.
Yeah, didn't you guys have one too with like embedding a quiz in a video and different things like that?
Okay, so we had we had discussed some use cases. So basic tracking of individual videos, find places where users could be. It's completely rough scratchpad.
Yeah.
Using results of individual user interactions to improve quality of video. These are the use cases that we had discussed. It's in the general information document.
Yeah.
So we have added some notes on how it can be tracked.
Okay, very good.
Like if annotations, comments, or tags, notes are left by the user on a video, it can be attached based on a related statement. So a related statement would be a statement which...
Statement reference.
Very much in use right now.
Not
personally.
Not always. It could be a related statement. Could be probably. I forgot what we had thought at that time. Probably it will add the video ID to the parent or something like that. So that comment was added to a video, not to a statement. So in case of a comment, it would be added to the video, and when it is added to the video, it would have a have a video ID, which is added as a parent ID to the comment statement. So the learner commented on this commented this whatever message, and then parent would be the video, something like that.
Yep.
And okay. If there is a timestamp, probably they can also add a timestamp on what point in time in video they have commented it. Similarly, the quizzes or other things would also be related statements based on the parent ID.
Well, this is great. I think we should push these over into that more detailed use case template and create some examples of those.
Yeah. So the first thing we would definitely need is the basic video tracking, play, pause, seek, and those stuff, and then these additional things will definitely be very interesting.
Yep, start with the basics, I think, first, and that's good.
Anything else?
Nothing for me. If you have anything else in your agenda, go for it.
No, nothing specific. So, do you want me to do anything in this document, or would you start and let me know what I can help here?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I was starting to create like a table of contents so we could link to each of these. But yeah, how many do I have? We've got completed. I guess if you can check the ones that I've got in there, like you already have been doing, and commenting on what needs to change, or just go ahead and change it yourself if you want. That would be fine. And then add any additional ones that I haven't captured yet. I guess we could start to put some of those more complex ones that you guys defined in the original use case document.
Okay. Okay, fine. I'll try to take a look on these statements. Sorry. Fine. So I don't have anything else today. If anyone else has any questions, anything to say.
Looks like steady progress.
Okay, so have a good day. See you in the next meeting on, let's see when it is. Yeah, next meeting on 5th June. Have a good time till then. Bye.
Thanks, Pankaj.
Thank you.